So if you're someone who's disciplined, self-aware, who's genuinely done the inner work, and it still feels like you struggle with emotional eating, then this video is for you. And I just want to say it's not because you're lazy, undisciplined, or failing. There's so much more to this. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist specializing in emotional eating. So I often see this in high-functioning, ambitious women. A lot of my clients are like this. They show up, they do the work, they've been in therapy for many years, they're trying to think positively, they're doing all of this self-development, and yet it still feels like emotional eating is a struggle. So maybe you do all the right things, you reflect, you show up, you understand your patterns, it kind of makes sense to you, but still the emotional eating is not shifting. And so you can explain why you emotionally eat, but it's not shifting. And that's often the most painful part. So here's what most people have been shown about emotional eating. It's not a habit that you need to change. It's a coping mechanism that's kept you safe, that's helped you to move through discomfort, distress, uncomfortable emotions. It's helped you to survive. So food was able to soothe you, to help you regulate yourself, to be that safe space. Food essentially filled something that was unmet in you. And so at some point, food met those needs that you didn't know how to meet yourself, and you weren't modeled how to do this. So here's the truth. Most inner work really stays at the surface level. And I get it. I did all the things as well, doing the inner work, reading the books, going to therapy, doing the mindset shifts, and it didn't hit my emotional eating. It didn't shift the pattern. And so I was really aware of my thoughts. I was aware of patterns, but it just didn't move the needle. I couldn't see the deeper connection. And so I was switching out one behavior for another. I was trying all of these surface tactics, and it didn't help me with my emotional eating. And after being in talk therapy for almost 2 years and trying, other modalities, seeing a nutritionist, a chiropractor, reading tons of books, doing the thought work and shifting my negative thoughts, and still nothing was shifting with my emotional eating, I knew I had to do something different. The thing is that emotional eating is not just an awareness problem. You don't have to just see your pattern. That's the first layer. It is a pattern that lives in your body and your nervous system. And so if we're not really looking at it at that level, we're not going to be able to shift it. And that's what I found out on my own journey. I could cognitively know a lot of things and switch out my behaviors, but it wasn't actually taking away my urge to emotionally eat, and it wasn't helping me with my triggers. I had to go deeper. I had to learn how to access this on a more body nervous system level. And so that's the thing. You can understand a pattern, but still feel compelled, have that urge to repeat it, like something has taken you over, which it has, because this pattern, because it lives in the body, when it's triggered, it has 95% power. It has that visceral power to overpower what you consciously want to do. You want to stop and not emotionally eat and see the pattern. But if you're not meeting that need at a deeper level, somatically in the body, it's not going to stop. So real change happens when you learn to meet these needs directly versus using food as a band-aid. So this is through learning how to actually create safety for yourself, to create regulation, to have that self-trust and the capacity to get into the deeper root of what is coming up and creating this pattern, what is actually running the show. And so this isn't about control. This is about healing the root. This is about creating an atmosphere where we can do the deeper work so that you start meeting this need and your body exhales because it's finally gotten what it's always wanted. And food has been this substitute. Yes, food helped you when you didn't have the capacity to do this. But now when you actually start meeting those deeper needs, you start healing the root, food will feel like it cannot take that place. And I've felt this in my own experience. It's been over 10 years since I've emotionally eaten, and food can't fill that hole anymore. and over time, that urge, as you start doing the deeper work, it will not be able to fill that hole because your body is going to register, this is what actually makes me feel good when I meet this need directly versus using food. And so when I'm working with clients, we do this through the emotional eating evolution program framework, and we are learning to nourish the body, to catch triggers, and then creating awareness around triggers. That's the first level, but taking it deeper into directly meeting the need so that food is no longer the band-aid. And we do this, and I teach clients how to do this, and I do this with them through somatic meditations with psychotherapy tools, inner child parts work. And this is the way we get to the core of that while we're also creating a healthy relationship to food, your body, and your emotions. We're creating the container to do the deeper work. So if your emotional eating hasn't shifted yet, it doesn't mean it never will. It just means that the part of you that's been using food for so long hasn't been fully met and integrated, and you haven't gotten to the root to really heal this pattern. But there is hope. And that part of you really deserves care, not discipline. So if you're ready to resolve your emotional eating at the root and not manage this pattern, then I invite you to find out more about the Emotional Eating Evolution Program. This is my 12-week container with the step-by-step process, office hours, one-to-one sessions, and the deeper tools to actually shift this pattern to meet that part of you that has been using food to soothe and actually meet your needs directly so that you can get to ease and peace and confidence around food and in your body in a sustainable way. So you don't need more willpower or micromanaging your emotional eating. You need support and the tools to get to the root. So I just want to say, if you have any questions about what I've shared today, please let me know. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I look forward to sharing more with you, and I hope you have a great